It is essential to be up to date on happenings around you, and to make that easy for you, ladies and gentlemen, we present Freshlight, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to the limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTv and radio.
Lovely morning from this side, and I believe it is wherever you are watching us from. Welcome to Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. This is where we get to look at national dailies. We read to you mega stories and also read to you the headlines. My name is RISQAT SULAIMON. Thanks for joining.
I'm SOWOLE. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio.
Alright, on Freshlight this morning, we'll be perusing three newspapers this morning. We have The Guardian, the Tribune newspaper, and the Punch newspaper. We'll be kickstarting with The Guardian newspaper this morning. On The Guardian newspaper, we have Silence Guns, No Trade. Africans entrapped trade corridors was in AFCFTA implementation. I beg your pardon. You can find this story on the page 4 and 5 on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Tales of neglect lages as Nigerians marks World Teachers Day. You can find this on page 3 on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Senate summons service chiefs IGP over kidnap of students. You can also find this story on the page 29 on the Guardian newspaper this morning. And away from that, Tinubu's Chicago certificate, Atiku rallies Obi Kwakwanso Nigerians for justice. You can find this on page 6 on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Governor stealing a lot. Local council should get allocation directly. This is not coming from me. This is coming from Afe Babalola. You can also find this on page 27 on the Guardian newspaper. Lastly, on the Guardian newspaper this morning, Supreme Court to decide Kanu's case, December 15, page 26, captured this story. All of these and many more stories you'll find on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Going into the details.
The first story on the Guardian newspaper this morning: Tinubu's Chicago certificate, Atiku rallies Obi Kwakwanso Nigerians for justice. Presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Abubakar, yesterday said it will be a fight to a finish with President Bola Tinubu and the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), coming 7 months after the February 25th poll, in which he finished second. Atiku said his legal battle to expose mysteries surrounding the certificate of President Tinubu was to ensure that ground rules for legitimate governance are upheld. At the crowded press conference in Abuja 2 days after the deposition by the registrar of Chicago State University (CSU), Caleb Westbach, of Tinubu's academic records at a United States (US) court, the former vice president solicited the support of Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and the new Nigerian People's Party (NNPP) counterpart Rabiu Kwankwaso to join his quest for justice in certificate saga involving President Tinubu and in entrenching legitimate governance in the country, pointing out that the reputation of Nigeria is at stake. Atiku had requested the release of President Tinubu's certificate from CSU over suspicion that the certificate the former Lagos State governor submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) may not be authentic. Tinubu's Chicago certificate, Atiku rallies Obi Kwakwanso Nigerians for justice. You can take on the Guardian newspaper for more details.
Still on the Guardian newspaper this morning, tales of neglect, largesse as Nigerians marks World Teachers Day. Nigerian Union of Teachers (NUT) Cross River Chapter has decried what is considered neglect of teachers by the state government over the years, especially in areas of welfare and activities of the union. The state chairman, Comrade Girobi Olayi, disclosed this in an address presented at the 2023 World Teachers Day celebration in Calabar yesterday. The theme was "Teachers we need for the education we want, the global imperative to reverse teacher shortage. We are not happy with the government's poor treatment of teachers." Olayi said, described the theme as apt given the alleged shortage of teachers in the state for more than 8 years. He complained that the government has not seen the need for recruitment of teachers in spite of the high rate of retirement of aged tutors. He further stated that statistics reveal that about 10,000 teachers are needed in secondary schools and more in primary schools. To read details of this, you can pick the Guardian newspaper this morning. It has this headline: "Tales of Neglect Lajezi as Nigerians marks World Teachers Day."
And lastly, from my side on the Guardian newspaper, Supreme Court to decide Kanu's case, December 15. The Supreme Court has fixed December 15 to deliver its judgment on the appeal seeking to compel the federal government to release the embattled leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, from detention. The Apex Court yesterday okayed the matter for judgment after counsel for both the federal government and Kanu adopted their final brief of argument. The federal government legal team was led by the acting director, Civil Appeal at the Federal Ministry of Justice, T.A. Ghazali, while Kanu's legal team was led by a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Kanu Agabi. Even though Agabi led Kanu's team of lawyers, it was Professor Mike Ozenkome that presented his appeal to the Apex Court. Ozenkome prayed to the court not to only order the immediate release of his clients from detention, but to also award punitive costs against the federal government. He said, and I quote, "We urge my Lord to uphold our cross appeal to do substantial justice to this matter and to respond to the respondent who has been in detention since June 29, 2021, even after the low court order is released, and that it should never be prosecuted again in the same count." Supreme Court to decide Kanu's case, December 15, the Guardian newspaper.
Away from the Guardian newspaper, let's get to pick our Tribune newspaper and see what is on the front page. On the front page of Nigerian Tribune newspaper, we have Ifon Orolu communal conflict. 8 failed killed, 4 policemen shot, houses burnt. Osun government takes over disputed lands. You can find these stories on the page 27 on Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Nominations open for 2023 Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Prize. You can find this on page 2 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Picking the major story this morning: Tinubu CSU certificate saga, a reputation of Nigeria at stake. This is coming from Atiku. Page 3 and page 19 capture this particular story. It also had a rather story said Fawehimi inspired us on this journey. He started this 23 years ago. I did not start Tinubu in the back. So Obi should join me in the campaign to enshrine probity. Whatever Supreme Court says, I will take. Article's lawyer. We were told Tinubu forged certificate presented to INEC. CSU admission application form claimed that Tinubu attended Government College Lagos, graduated in the 1970, but school was established in 1974. To read this story, you can pick page. You can look at the page 3 and page 19 on Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And away from that, APC to Atiku, CSU validated Tinubu's certificate. Difference in date of certificate, human error. Still on the Nigerian Tribune front page, we'll get to see this. Ensure local governments get allocations directly, not through governors. This is coming from Afe Babalola to Nigerian presidents. You can find this on page 12 on Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And away from that, sex scandal, why we arrested suspended UNICA professor. This is coming from DSS, and you can find this on page 26. Alright, moving further, we have Supreme Court late December 15 to determine Nnamdi Kanu's fate. You can find this on page 5. And lastly, on Tribune newspaper this morning, impeachment disregard request from Ondo Assembly. Adegboruwa writes Ondo CJ. You can find this on page 28 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. All of these and many more stories you find on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Go into the details.
The first story on Nigeria Tribune newspaper: NDLEA and quest to bribe Nigeria of illicit drug trafficking abuse. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) is a federal law enforcement agency established by Decree number 48 of December 29, 1989. The promulgation of the decree was chiefly in response to the rising trending in demand for and trafficking of narcotic drug and psychotropic substances, which adversely affect the international image of Nigeria and Nigeria in 1980s. Since then, the traffic of illicit substances has become an organized criminal activities that undermines the security and the development of the country, and therefore demand urgent attention and priority from the government. NDLEA is in charge of drug policy and control in Nigeria, and within this purview, the agency has mandate to curtail illicit production, importation, exportation, sales, and trafficking of psychoactive substances. Employees of NDLEA carry out interdiction and destruction of narcotic drugs and other illicit substances. They also engage in preventive drug abuse activities such as advocacy, counseling, and rehabilitation of drug users. NDLEA and quest to rid Nigeria of illicit drug trafficking abuse. Nigeria Tribune newspaper.
Still on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, and I will be taking my trip to Edo State. Our former NBA president Akpata joined Edo Gubaris under LP. Our former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Olumide Akpata, formally declared his intention to vie for the Edo State governorship seat in the September 21 or 2024 elections under the banner of the Labour Party LP. Akpata, who was at the Edo State Secretariat of the party on Ogbelaka Street, Benin City, late Thursday evening, that said he decided to join the gubernatorial race using LP as a platform because the party remained the only people-oriented party in the country, accompanied by a mammoth crowd of supporters and LP members across the 18 local government areas of the state. The former MDA chair president noted that with the former declaration, all speculations about his governorship ambition and the vehicle he will use to actualize it had been permanently laid to rest. Addressing the crowd after a closed-door meeting with the state executive council members of the party, Akpata said that his interest in the people of the state informed his choice of the LP as the only means through which the people could liberate themselves from the shackles of politicians who have held them down and retarded the progress of the state. To read details of this, you can pick Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. It has this headline: former NBA president Akpata joins Edo Gubaris under LP. Tribune newspaper has the details.
Australian Nigeria Tribune newspaper: Islamic insurance firm Jais Takafu disburses 152 million naira surplus to participants. Jais Takafu Insurance Limited has disbursed a surplus of 152 million naira to its participants. The surplus distribution ceremony, second of its kind, was held at the Shehu Musaya Adwa Center, Abuja. The chairman of Jais Takafu Insurance Limited, Ajia Zainab Abdurrahman, described the event as a remarkable milestone in our journey. Ajia Abdurrahman said, "We have come to a long way since our inception, and it is a testament to the dedication and trust and trust our participants has bestowed upon us that we can gather here to distribute a surplus of 152 million naira. According to her, the company operates on principles deeply rooted in ethics and community. She said, and I quote, "It embodies the essence of cooperation and the mutual assistance, ensuring that we protect one another in time of need. Our participants place their faith in us, and it is of our duty to uphold the principle of transparency, fairness, and responsibility. The surplus we are distributing today is not just a financial transaction. It is a symbol of our commitment to our participants and the value that guide us. It signifies our ability to efficiently manage our resources and deliver on the promise of mutual help and support. It underscores the success of our business model and the trust you have placed in us." Islamic insurance firm Jais Takafu disburses 152 million naira surplus to participants, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper.
Alright, still on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning, Tinubu, Nigeria's reputation at stake. This is coming from Atiku, a presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party, PDP, Abubakar Atiku, on Thursday said the reputation of Nigeria is at stake following the certificate scandal of the President Bola Tinubu. Chicago State University, CSU, had on Monday, October 2nd, released Tinubu's academic documents following the order by Linus Court, which ordered the varsity to release the academic records as requested by Atiku. There has been debate on authenticity of the certificates Tinubu submitted to Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), which many Nigerians calling for the immediate resignation of the former. Against the backdrop, Atiku, in a just concluded World Press Conference monitored by Tribune Online, extended its profound gratitude to Nigerian youth for bringing the issue to limelight. Our political leadership and active citizenship matter because there are ways in which we all work together to build a country that works for all who we live in and who will come after us. Our country, Nigeria, is bigger than any one of us and is still standing in a world that affects the fate of who come and live in this great country. To read details of this, you can pick Tribune newspaper this morning. Tinubu, Nigeria's reputation at stake. This is coming from Atiku. From that, we'll get to let's dash at our commercial room, then we'll be back shortly.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Central Mall, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour.
Gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó bágbàmú ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zion. House of Zion, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House of Zion, lẹ́tí máa rójúlówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai, àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi, àwọn ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ bàtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fawọ́ original ṣe, àwọn aago kájọ́ tó ń ka wákàtí ọjọ́, designer sunglasses and perfumes, pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbafẹ́ lò gbà. Mo débẹ̀, ojú mi ń ṣe kámi, èmi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ́ gbòógè gbọ́n pa fashion tẹ́ wá nílò jàlábíà, hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zion lẹ́ ò ti rí gbogbo ẹ̀ rà. House House of Zion wà ní 52 Ọlọ́run ṣògo road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish Ọlọ́run ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. Lórí Instagram House of Zion 08165688618 House of Zion ilé ìtajà tá a ti ń tojúlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì.
Glad to know you are still watching us on Al-IyamoyeTv, and it's still Freshlight on Al-Iyamoye. Thanks for joining us back from that short commercial break. From there, we move on to the punch on headline this morning. The port distracted as petrol landing cost hit 720 naira per litre. Manufacturers experience the toughest period in history. Work Ministry seek 270 billion naira to repair 260 roads. At the border line here on Punch newspaper, Tinubu betrayed me. I will fight till Supreme Court verdict. Atiku Abubakar. Tinubu supported Yar'Adua, PDP in 2007 presidential election, says ex-vice president. Atiku's political career has ended. He got nothing from Chicago Varsity, APC. NUT demand more reforms, teachers to undergo internship. Tinubu approved 25,000 naira monthly grant for vulnerable pensioners. Lagos Abeokuta highways remains a death trap. Motorists laments. And lastly, on the punch frontline headline this morning, disregard the request for my impediments. Ayedatiwa writes CJ. All of this you can see on the frontline head page on the Punch newspaper. Going into the details this morning.
All right, going into the details, I will be starting with Chicago record. Tinubu's betrayed me. I will fight the Supreme Court verdict. This is coming from Atiku. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 poll, Atiku Abubakar, on Thursday said he did not betray President Bola Tinubu over the allegation of certificate forgery. He leveled against him at the court. Rather, he said the former Lagos State governor abandoned him, as well as the Action Congress of Nigeria, and supported Umaru Yar'Adua of the PDP in the 2007 presidential poll. Atiku also recalled how he saved Tinubu by not allowing former President Olusegun Obasanjo to take over Lagos State in the 2007 general elections. However, the All Progressive Congress has knocked Atiku following his Thursday attack on Tinubu, saying his ill-timed press conference was in gross contempt of the Supreme Court. The National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Felix Moka, said the ruling party was not bothered by the article's claim, which is said lacked purpose and delivered nothing except the pitiful regurgitation of lies, mindless distortion, and deliberate falsehood on articles' infertile obsession with the academic record of the president. To read details of this, you can pick Punch newspaper this morning. Chicago record, Tinubu betrayed me. I will fight till Supreme Court verdict. This is not coming from me. This is coming from Atiku. You can read this on the Punch newspaper.
Still on the Punch newspaper, depots deserted as petrol landing cost hit 720 naira per litre. Many petroleum products depots are currently deserted due to lack of products caused by foreign exchange rate volatility. As the landing cost of the premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, has increased to 720 naira per litre, oil marketers said on Thursday. Petroleum product dealer also stated that the filling stations were shut down daily in large numbers, as it was becoming increasingly tough to run the business. They said this could lead to widespread fuel scarcity in coming months. It was further gathered that the landing cost of PMS in Nigeria had increased to 720 naira per litre, up from 651 naira per litre in August this year. Speaking at the National Executive Council meeting of the Natural Oil and Gas Supplier Association of Nigeria in Abuja on Thursday, the national president, Nogasa Benedict Korie, said a lot of depots were presently dried up or out of stock. He said depots owners are so terribly affected by the increasing cost of crude oil and exchange rate, to the extent that many depots are practically deserted, as their owners are unable to secure bank loans to fund their business due to high interest rate. To read details of this, you can pick the Punch on newspaper. It has the headline, "Depot deserted as petrol landing cost hit 720 naira per litre."
Moving to the Metro page on the Punch newspaper this morning, Lagos Abeokuta Expressway remains a death trap, motorists lament. The motorists and commuters have lamented that the Lagos Abeokuta Expressway has remained a death trap due to its bad state despite appeals to the government to fix the road. They noted that many drivers have resorted to driving against traffic and causing avoidable accidents due to the bad portions of the road. Our correspondent who visited the road on the Thursday reported that the worst hit has some spots at Abule Egba, U-turn, Ijaye, Alakuko areas of up to the auto gate at Songo Ota, Ogun State. It was learned that while some motorists have been resorted to completed abandon the stretch of the road by using some inner roads like the Abule Egba Ekoro Road, some others who still manage to use the bad roads are always faced with difficulties. A driver, Uche Michael, also told the correspondent that since the condition of the road deteriorated over 2 years ago, it has been challenging driving on it. He said from Abule Egba to toll gate is bad. Motorists are driving against traffic on the road and its task force officials sees them. They will arrest them. I believe that is wrong because the government has refused to fix the road. The road has been damaged for more than 2 years. They only came one time to pour stones on the road, and it made the matter worse. Passengers and motorists have fed up with the whole thing. Accidents had happened regularly on the road because of its condition. He further stated that the road is bad and it damages vehicles. When a vehicle gets damaged on the road, touts surround the vehicle and extort the driver. To read details of this, you can pick Punch newspaper this morning. Lagos Abeokuta Expressway remains a death trap. Motorists lament.
Lastly, on the Punch newspaper this morning, Punch Sports. Oyebanji apologizes to Ekiti athletes over NYG embarrassments. Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji has apologized to the state athletes at the just concluded 2023 National Youth Games in Asaba, Delta State over the Shambe manner they were treated by the Ekiti Sports Commission Council officials. The governor, who spoke in Ado Ekiti during a reception for the athletes on Wednesday evening, said the incident had strengthened the state government resolve to develop sports and assured the youngsters and their coaches of financial rewards. Oyebandi said the official embarrassed the athletes, their parents, Ekiti people at the home and abroad, and the state generally. The athletes described as great Ekiti ambassador won a total of 7 medals, 2 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze at the game. Ekiti athletes were kitted in all sorts of unbefitting ways during the match past for the opening of the game in what has been described as an embarrassing situation which went viral and attracted criticism. Addressing the athletes, Oyembaji said, "Let me start on the note to apology to you for discrediting and the inappropriate behavior of the official or the sports council." So with details of this, you can pick the Punch on newspaper on the Punch sports column. Oyebandi apologizes to Ekiti athletes over NYG embarrassment. The Punch newspaper.
Still in Southwest and moving to Osun State this morning. 8 killed in Osun communal clash. Residents flee. About 8 people were found killed in a communal clash involving the people of Ilobo and Ifon communities in Osun State on Thursday. Those killed were said to have been hit by stray bullets fired by the security operative deployed to affected communities following the resumption of the hostilities. When our correspondent visited the area on Thursday afternoon, both Ilobo and Ifon could not be accessed by even some of the security operatives as they stay at the entrance to the 2 communities. The Otun Jagun of Ilobo, Chief Leke Ogunshola, who spoke to newsmen on behalf of Ilobo community, said 4 lives, including a baby, had been lost to the crisis on the side of the town. He also lamented that the refusal of the security agents deployed to go into the area in the 2 communities. The government intervention is not enough because of security agencies that were drafted to the area stationed themselves at Ojutu Bridge. They didn't even enter the town where the clashes happened. So far from the Ilobo community, we have recorded 4 fatalities, including a baby, Ogunshola said. To read this sad story, you can pick Punch newspaper this morning. 8 killed in Osun communal clash. Residents flee. May the gentle soul rest in perfect peace, and God will continue to guide us in this country and will lead us to the right path. On this is where we will be calling it a wrap on Freshlight this morning. I remain RISQAT SULAIMON. Good morning.
I'm SOWOLE MOSHOOD. God bless Nigeria.